Okay, so Aquarius, two nice cards. The Chariot, Major Arcana, and the Nine of Cups. For your awareness for the week. So the Chariot, it's a card of moving forward, of being in motion, driving to your goals, the things that you want to achieve, your tasks, whether they're small or whether they're big goals, you are making progress. You are driving these two sphinxes, the black and white sphinxes, down the road. Sometimes they have different ideas of which direction they want to go. You split the middle. You're finding the balance. You're finding just the right way to navigate and to negotiate the path. And so it's about having the confidence to do so. It's about having the skills and the talents and the mastery and the control. You know, you have the control here. And so your actions and your willpower and your drive, it's a result of what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and what you're doing. So this is about momentum and taking this momentum forward for this week, whether your goals are related to relationships or if it's related to a specific task like getting in better shape or improving your career path or career goals. You are running this chariot, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to have a setback or be off the, get into the gravel and it gets a little bumpy, but you're going to be able to handle those obstacles. And this ultimately gets you to success. And it gets you to a place where you're going to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor and of your direction. So here's the Chariot. We also have the Nine of Cups. Wish fulfillment. Make a wish, set your intention. But really what's behind here, it's this gentleman here smiling and feeling pretty good about what he has. He's displaying 9 cups. And so in life, you either get lucky and maybe you inherit the abundance, or you work for it and you sacrifice. Now's the time to enjoy what you have. This has been effort and energy and willpower. Here's the time to sit back and to reflect and to enjoy and to feel content with what you've achieved and what you have gained, be it material or spiritual. 9 cups is pretty abundant. It's a lot to smile about. The only thing to mention is don't be smug and rubbing it in other people's faces, but it's time to feel good about what you've accomplished and what you've achieved this week. Okay, so in terms of guidance, we have the Devil, Major Arcana, and we have the Two of Wands. So the Devil is interesting because the Devil is about the behaviors that hold us back from achieving our best, being our higher self, being the best that we can be. We get in our own way. We sabotage ourselves. We let our desires and our temptations lead. And it can, take us off that path. So this Devil next to the Nine of Cups, the first thought that comes to mind is as this week happens, is not to overdo it, not to overindulge. Be mindful of the balance within your life. This Devil can be destructive, can bring about lack of confidence, negativity. Some people enjoy the temptation and enjoy the thrill of it. But if the Devil is not checked, then it can get out of control. So I think there's a message here of just be careful with how you're approaching your week in terms of balance, in terms of relationships, in terms of consumption. And if things are spiraling out of control, it takes, you have to be aware of it and you have to acknowledge it. And if it's too much, then, this couple here, they're loosely bound. They could slip out of those chains and walk away. You have to be ready to do so. You have to be ready to walk away if you find that your limiting behaviors are obstructing you from being successful. This Two of Wands, it's about, you see, he has a world in his hands, and it's the world in your hand. And with the two, we're looking at decisions and things to think about as you move forward, as you begin to create and to manifest and to dream and to visualize and to look at the big picture. What is it that I want to do? Do I want to travel? Do I want to build a new business? If one takes a literal look at the Chariot, it could be getting in your car and driving. Your Chariot could be your wheels, it could be your bicycle, whatever it may be. But this is the beginning process of vision, the big picture, which leads to manifesting, creation, new opportunities. You may be deciding what's next for you. Okay, so with possible outcomes, we have the Four of Pentacles and we have the Queen of Wands. So the Four of Pentacles is about, again, control. Here we have a hard driving control of the Chariot, control of the momentum forward. This is a control of resources, of your time, your energy, your money, perhaps your perspective. There's a sense here of establishing boundaries. Nobody's going to get near those pentacles underneath his feet or that he's clutching to his chest. So this may be a holding pattern for you. You may be having to hold off on making some big purchases. You may be having to watch your budget, money coming in, money going out, or your energies. If you've been volunteering or doing something, you might have to just look at the time spent and maybe you just need to recalculate. This doesn't mean that you're going to be in this position forever, but for right now, this is where you are. You have the sense here of holding on, of controlling your money, your hours, the hours that you spend. You're watching it carefully. And then in terms of another possible outcome, it's nice to see the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands talk about a mover and a shaker. She's a go-getter. This is a go-getting energy. So feels like in terms of what you're trying to accomplish here, you have this very positive energy of the Queen who is charismatic and dynamic. And this dynamic energy is, it's a way to take it to the next level, which is networking, meeting people, putting in applications if you're trying to get into grad school or whatever it may be. It's really doing it. It's getting it done. And this capable queen is successful in all parts of her life. Could be a stereotypical type A personality, someone who works hard, manages the household, volunteers in the community, makes everything happen. But in terms of what you're trying to accomplish for this week, it really is a matter of stepping up, taking charge, and getting it done, for your own benefit, which is to capture your passions and your enthusiasms and your zest for life. Don't let life pass you by. You take it by the reins and drive to what you want to achieve and what you want to accomplish. Doesn't mean it's going to be simple or straightforward. We hit the twists and turns, the devil that pops up, the time to hold back and to maybe keep things close to the vest. Reassessment, prioritizing, looking at the future. Counting our blessings, having some fun along the way too. So Aquarius, this is an interesting spread for you here for the week. Let's see what we have in terms of messages from the oracle cards. Purification, white Terra. So to purify, to cleanse oneself, to feel like you're starting fresh with a clear slate, with a clear mind. We may feel like purifying after, if we For those celebrating Thanksgiving, overdoing it with the meal and the beverages, you may feel a need to purify or to detox after this week. And let's go ahead and get a message for love for this week. Have faith. Trust your faith in this situation. Beautiful card, beautiful idea of trusting yourself and your abilities and believing in yourself, for sure. But I would hope that everyone makes a wish and sets their intention so that they can positively think about and have present those desires that they're hoping to accomplish or achieve in life.